Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, of an exciting 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. In the south, we got here Karl, fighting for the United States of America, freedom and democracy, taking on the role here of the 3rd Armoured Division versus the north. We got Dave here playing as Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the Elite Panzer Lehr Division with mobile defense, mechanized and mechanized assault. He's got mine, machine gun and mortar bulletins versus heavy cavalry, infantry and airborne with double infantry and resistance bulletins here for Karl. And also big thanks to Elite for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. Most appreciated. If you'd like to do it as well, you can find a link in the channel or video description. We can do so via Patreon or PayPal. But back to the fighting here. MD42 grenadiers out there for Dave. Versus in the south, we got Karl here with the double rifle start, slowly moving eastwards with tank traps, barbed wire being prepared. Dave similarly also slowly moving westwards. So interesting enough, he's moving straight for the munitions first. Grenadiers following up and then spreading eastwards. That's a very bold move there by Dave. Does diminish a bit his ability to function his units as a combined arms force. So that's a bit risky there by Dave in some sense, in particular versus the Americans. But then again, Dave knows how to play the Americans, so probably also knows how to deal with them. MD42 moving up here to the point there. Pioneers moving westwards. Slow approach there by Dave again. A bit more aggressive there. Rearson securing points there in the east, and Rifleman moving westwards. Also ready to pressure Dave around the fuel point here. Second gun squad there for Dave and the Panzer Lehr Division. Barbed wire going down here again. Tank traps, barbed wire. Very sort of thorough and methodical with that. There, Rearson being caught here by the Grenadiers, but they are of course already behind heavy covers. That's not a big deal here for Karl. And of course, you can still bring up Rifleman here on the west end, before setting up to cover. Here's the Pioneers from down to the fuel point, laying down sandbags as well. Second Grenadier squad there arriving for Dave. And we almost got the 3rd rifle squad there ready as well for Karl. We shall see what happens here. Sandbags done. Focusing down the rifleman there, trying to, but certainly getting overwhelmed here by firepower from the Americans. So, well, might not work out well there for Dave long term. We'll have to see. MD42 shifting right, got rifleman up. Then he says MD42 fast. Grenadiers hanging about here, ready by the cuff point in case Karl makes a push for it. And down here, he's just rushing the Grenadiers straight up now. Needs to retreat right away. They do not stand a chance. Where's the MD4 setting up, and it's in a bit of a bad spot there against the rifleman. Pioneers pulling up behind heavy Karl, whilst running off there to make it harder for Karl to utilize it. Grenadiers might try and flank behind here, the rifleman. And there you go, got the MD42 opening up. 3rd Grenadier squad there for Dave. Rifleman up there, might try and threaten the flank, even as he's trying to threaten Karl's flank. Grenadiers getting behind, there we go, rifleman suppressed. Rifleman attempting from the other side, needs to shift the Grenadiers into line of fire. The MD42 Pioneers closing in to take advantage of the suppression on the rifleman. Good work there by Dave. And setting up the rifle squad, moving the Pioneers to support the Grenadier here, so they're quickly getting gutted by the rifleman up close. And there we go, rifleman falling back here as well. More moving up to defend the Karl, or hack the Karl front. We got Grenadiers reinforcing and arriving, allowing here Dave to push up the defense of the Karl front, forcing Karl back. And there goes, slowly moving out here. MD42 repositioning pretty aggressively as Dave extends the front of the fatherland. Mortar following up here for Karl. Back here, troops reinforcing. Mortar moving up there for Karl. Grenadiers slowly advancing. Troops are reinforcing. Or should be reinforcing. Soon he might also consider taking up. He's also making a move here for the house. Occupying the building there and quickly getting out of there. And there you go, more active spot here. Dave should probably try and rush it with his Pioneers. Mortar they're falling back, so there's no need for that, at least not for now. But Dave now setting a more controlling situation on this end. He shifts out the machine gun. Might have been an accident there for Dave, or perhaps is intentional. Hard to say. The Pioneers remain inside the house. And rather than they're getting shot at by Grenadiers from several sides, so they need to get some further forward here by the outhouse to flank the rifle squad. And there he goes, then step back. MD42 repositioning. Perhaps sensing there's something on, actually spotting it. Shifting the machine gun over to defend there. We'll have to see. Rearson sneaking back there. Grenadiers got moving down. And we've got still no tech for Dave. Seemingly no direct planning for Dave, in fact. He's got manpower munitions floating. And we got the fuel point there in the west being hit by Karl. Mortar fire raining down in the house. Looks like Dave anticipated mortar fire there and, you know, pretty much just pulled out as soon as possible rather than you wasting time and resources on that, which is definitely some smart thinking there by Dave. Pulling up on the eastern side, they're going in aggressively. Pioneers taking non losses from the rifleman. Back here we got the captain on the way there for Karl. And an ambulance following up there for Karl. Dave there finally beginning to take up. But he has lost the fuel on their rifleman hanging up here by the western edge of the cemetery, where they can't be easily dug out here by Dave's forces. Very nasty. Rifleman occupying the house here. Going to need to pick up, of course, with the mortars around. He's bombarding there. And there we go, cut off the eastern fuel. and then moves ahead, does not try to secure. He's more concerned with the western fuel. MD42, they're trying to suppress the riflemen. Certainly a lot going on here across the map between Dave and Karl. Ambulance out, captain out here for Karl, and Dave goes for mechanized assault in an interesting move there. Mechanized assault. Will he be going for assault grenadiers now? Is he planning a mechanized assault group? Stugis, what is the plan here for Dave? Since all of a sudden he goes for that. Pioneers retreating, probably to build up the light to make a nice company mortar pushing up the centre here. So what is Dave's plan? I haven't gotten much experience with him as a Wehrmacht player, but apparently it's the only other faction he plays besides the USF. That's an interesting side note there. But he prefers the USF overall. Bunker being laid down there by Dave. Pioneers will probably like to make a nice company as soon as possible. Gunners moving down here, but encountering the captain and the rifle behind the heavy cover, the Gunners do not stand a chance, and they need to retreat immediately. So there you go. Medic bunker up for Dave. Like to make a nice company being built up as well. Back here, rifle aviation setting out. Nothing further going on there for Karl. He can go for the Stuart, and in fact he does so right away. Also looks like we got some light machine guns away there for some of Dave's Grenadiers. So far rough 50-50 split here between the two. And there goes straight into Pack 40. Dave, having seen the captain there, has no illusions as to what his opponent is going for here. Likely that is what Dave would have gone for if he went for the captain in this situation. Or maybe not. Troops there getting ready though for the next big fight here versus Karl and his Yankees. Mortar shifting up here, Grenadiers shifting up on the west side there, MD42 hanging back, covering the cut-off point and the centre area around there, of course leaving the cemetery rather open. That's probably where it's got the Grenadiers for the light machine gun 4 until you can bring up more infantry. We've got a second light machine gun up there for Dave as well, further upgrading his troops with more firepower. Got the Pack 40 ready, Stuart done there as well for Karl. He did not supervise out the captain, the Stuart out there with his captain. Could have got out even faster here than Dave was able to get out his Pack 40. Mortar opening out the Grenadiers, and a directed, almost wiping out the entire Grenadiers, what likely will be wiped in a retreat unless he gets really lucky. And looks like fortune favoured Dave there. Pioneers coming to fire from the captain at the same time. Two Grenadiers got pushing up the eastern side, M42 suppressing here, but it does mean his cemetery territories are quite open. Pack 40 moving in there, anticipating the Stuart to move up there, but instead the Stuart's going to hit his Grenadiers in the east. And we got Riflemen trying to flank behind the Riflemen there, and maybe hit the mortar as well, which actually pushing forward aggressively there for Karl. And there goes Stuart going for the Grenadiers. Mortar fire around the support weapons, the mortar, the machine gun, and the Pack 40. And as all this is happening, the Grenadiers continue pushing on for the fuel there. Troops almost ready. Is he actually planning a mechanized assault group, or what is actually going on there for Dave? Troops are healing and forcing. Grenadiers are using the heavy cover provided by Karl's forces to hide from the Stuart to protect themselves from it. Very nice handling. They almost got the fuel point again. Karl is, I think, very much pulling ahead of Dave there in terms of fuel. And we got BARs being handed out there for Karl's troops as well. Grenadiers moving in there for the Panzerfaust against the Stuart, landing a damaged engine on it. And Pack 40 off getting a hit there as well, except it doesn't actually hit. So that wasn't a hit, more of a miss. It was a shot, I guess. A lot of mortar fire there from Karl's mortar. MG40 moving up there for Dave. Pack 40 Grenadiers moving up the eastern side. He's continuing to hit for the eastern fuel there. And there you go, west side broken up as well there for Dave. I'm still unsure what exactly he's planning. And there you go, we got the BARs and the captain as well. Grenadiers just immediately retreating in the face of that. No sign of takeover there for Dave. And he does go for the mechanized assault group. He does go for it. That is a highly surprising move there. You generally don't see it for the most part, yet here we are. Dave has gone for the mechanized assault group. Meanwhile, Grenadiers are finding a desperate fight to hold back and buy time for the Pack 40, except now it's accidentally moving ahead there. I think he's going to try and clear out the rifle here behind the heavy cover, supported by the Grenadiers, but moves to it at the same time on the move here. Highly risky, but there you go. Going straight for the rifle, pushing them back. Pack 40 in pursuit there with the rifle, and MB42 could suppress them though. Stuart moving westwards, needs to get the 250 half-tech towards the Pack 40, and he needs to get as many of his troops back in the base out on the field as well. And there you go, Grenadiers in the fire, 250 half-tech shifting away. Pack 40 moving westwards, there's a mortar there, if he could sort of hit it with a half-tech, maybe he could get it. Cover there almost vanishing for the Grenadiers, mortar fire in the machine gun position. And there you go. Pack 40 shoots, but misses again. That Pack 40 is not having a good chance of hitting anything so far. Rather than engaged by the Grenadiers, 250 half is going to go for the mortar. Pack 40 advancing as well. Here, Dave is on the warpath for Germany. And there you go. Catching the mortar out and there. And then Panzer going to do fine from start to half, to taking some good hits. But they've got the Stuart. Pack 40 setting up though. And he's going to try and bait it in, staying along front here. The Pack 40 for as long as possible. And he almost gets another second hit on the Stuart, does he? Yes, almost got the Stuart there, but not quite. Nice use of the 250 half-track by Dave. It is sadly underutilized vehicle, partly because unlike any of the other call-in half-tracks, it has no machine guns. Despite the 250 half-track very much having a machine gun. Hell, it even had two, one on the rear as well, if need be, a bit like the 251 half-track. Bit of a shame that for whatever reason they've never gotten around to adding that. I really wish they'd get around to doing that. Like roughing it against the lieutenant. Could do some repairs on the half-track. Because the Theo also moved down into support. We got bazooka teams there in the form of the re-echelons. Shifting out the Panzers is going to support the Grenadiers down there. Not going to rush in the half-track with the bazooka team nearby. Moving on the Pioneers to repair. And we got take up there for Dave. Lieutenant there being pushed back. More rifle McGravy in there. He's going to need the Panzer Grenadiers certainly for that one soon. A bung grenade here could also prove helpful. But so far, rifling out negative cover, actually covered there. There's the Grenadiers light machines. The Panzer Grenadiers doing heavy damage to them. One Grenadier squad there falling back. Dave's not going to risk that one here in the centre. We've got some light pressure there by the captain. Ralph squad there pushed back. Leaving now eventually 3 Grenadier squad. The Panzer versus the rifle depleting and the re-echelons. Dave is on fire though so far here. Some impressive plays in there. Go, Reis being pushed back. And the rifle as well here, winning a solid victory there for the German army for now. Troops are healing, reinforcing. Take up Dunning and then built upon the court. Panzer need to retreat. He's moving the Pioneers probably with a flame from sight. Nope. Oh dear. He's got the Pack 4, got the cam flanking. You need to deal with that. Need to deal with that. Grenadiers almost being wiped out here. Dave might have extended. Might have gone a bit too greedy. Need to get the Pioneers over there somehow. Need to receive the Grenadiers and the Panzer Grenadiers. Losing any of those. Oh, there you go. Force the captain away. Panzer's almost been wiped out. Losing the western fuel point here to Karl again. And the Grenadiers are moving up before they're fully reinforced. And the M42 forced out of the house. So a lot of troops are being sent back and forth between both players. We've got a Lieutenant out here for Karl, which would indicate he's planning here for heavy cavalry and just the Pershing. We've got Lieutenant 50 Caliber filling up to help deal with some of Dave's aggressive infantry tactics. Lieutenant out on negative cover versus double Grenadiers with light machine guns. That Lieutenant is not going to have a fun time though. Particularly since some of those Grenadiers are quite veteran. There go roughing it as well. They're just to seal the deal. Pack 40 being pulled back for reinforcement healing. Needs to get back down here to deal with the Stuart. And he definitely should get up to Pommercourt as soon as possible as well, so he can begin pushing out something like a Stuke here versus Karl. In the West, rifling teams go territory there away from Dave and the Panzer Lehr Division. Cover there shattered for the Grenadiers, leaving behind with only a single wooden cart. Looks like Dave is now shifting from the east towards the west, quickly shifting the axis for attack, rather than trying to just break through there. But Karl is increasingly bringing up more force. He's going to try and hit him where he's less prepared, and that way overwhelming, getting back from the territory there. Not bad. Grenadiers need to be careful of that house. One more to hit, and that's going to go down with the Grenadier squad inside of it. So this is highly risky there for Dave, to be honest. Highly risky, and there you go. He gets away just in time. Rather than those Grenadiers with light machine guns, getting some good damage in there. Half-check successfully to back the troops in the west, but again we got the Stuart moving in there. But he's got the Pack 40 nearby. Support, of course, still not going up there for Dave. He's going to try and go for Stugi first. I'm not entirely sure I would advise that. No, he's going for a mortar, probably to counter his opponent's mortar. Troops healing, reinforcing. Half-tech falling back again for repairs and probably other purposes. There you go, got the support core going up there for Dave. Mortar Grenadiers setting out. Got to push up. PMD-42 supporting the Grenadiers against the captaincy charges force with BARs in hand. Getting some good hits, and there you go, forcing them back. There, Grenadiers got ready. Mortify there. Artillery ready here for Dave to set, maybe sign something, and there you go, Lieutenant takes a hit but doesn't really suffer any damage. Pack 40 is nowhere near to be seen against the Pack Stuart. Falling a bit back here, mortar ready as well. And he's probably going to try and focus down Dave's mortar, but Dave's already shifting about his mortar as well. Gunning down the mortar crew there pretty rapidly with some good machine gun hits. There you go, almost got it white, but it gets away there. 2 men left, veterans here too. Oh, but he's setting up nonetheless behind the house. Grenades up here for Karl. Support McCall ready and can soon go for the Stug. And there we go. Stug, Gefechtsbereit. House collapses. There's a Stug. Accidentally shoots it. He's planning an Ostwind or a Stug even here versus Karl. Pack 40 setting up there. Veterans who won, by the way. He could also fix up the half-tech and maybe do something with that. But we shall see what Dave ends up with here. He could, of course, also just play for the Panzer IV, which would be the slightly safer choice in many cases. There you go, rather than pushing ahead here. Panzer's going to do something with the camera, get a grenade off there, forcing Dave to fall back. Losing one Panzer going to be in the process. Another grenade off there, and grenades exchanged. Finally forcing a full retreat. The rears and flanking in with the bazookas. Just reinforcing healing. 250 half-tech still standing about doing nothing, as it can't really add anything to the fact that, you know, a machine gun and an infantry squad in it. So, you know, again, I kind of wish they just added to it. I mean, it's always just so much more expensive than any other of the half-tech call-ins for essentially a lot less, as the others, you know, can at least also reinforce. This one can neither reinforce or actually support. Yeah, it costs just as much as the same. It just sort of feels a bit odd. Big flank here with the cat and the rifle. Grenadiers opening up the light machine gun, heavy machine gun opening up the swap at the same time. We've got a flank here for the south. Smoke screen down here. Need to retreat the grenadiers. We've got pioneers sort of pressing there. 300 points left for Dave. He's aiming for the Panzer IV here. Need to shift the Pack 40 up there to support the grenadiers at the front line before they get wiped. Mortify against the American. Mortar rifling up there in the same small bunched up stuff there, but the house provides sufficient cover. Panzer is moving up. Grenadier successfully pushed back there. Karl away here, and then MD40 up and the advancing rifle. We got a smoke screen down. This suppresses both rifle squads though. Still can't hit the mortar, which actually is quickly repositioning. Very good work. Panzer is moving up. They're going to pop a grenade for the smoke, and there you go, forcing a full retreat here for Karl. And these start their pioneers held back by a 50 caliber there, the Mardeus. And this is just an intense fight where something's always happening, so I don't really get to fire off many facts here so far. Now the player is letting up so far. Troops are healing, reinforcing. He can go for the Panzer IV now, and definitely should go for the Panzer IV if that's what he's planning. Or just go for something here. Karl, though, is clearly aiming for the Pershing now, so if he can get out of Panzer IV and begin pressuring Karl more aggressively now, that'd be pretty good for Dave here. Troops healing, reinforcing, setting out once more for Germany. Half-tech still doing nothing here. The 250 half-tech battle was actually part of the reconnaissance battalion's infantry complement and was meant to support the armoured car specifically. They basically acted as normal infantry in most cases. What they did was they sort of made a hole in the front line, allowing the armoured cars to rush past and sort of do reconnaissance behind enemy lines then. But in many cases they just used as another Panzer Grenadier sort of unit to support the frontline troops in many cases, in particular as the war went on. But a little fun fact there. Huge blob here with riflemen and smoke and whatnot. Certainly highlighting a bit why they're losing some of that smoke, though, of course, until they maybe do something about the BARs, these blobs will still very much persist, I think. Force to fall back here, and there you go, on me, just further spawn the blob. We're going to strike called in here by Dave to try and break it up, and bit too slow here, sadly. Bit too slow, and didn't even force a full retreat there, so not really much help for that. Dave's still not going for any armour though. This is starting to look a bit bad. I have no idea why I built this upon McCall. If you're not going for, say, a Panzer IV or anything like that, I mean, that would have helped amazingly here versus the Rifleman if it had been a Panzer IV to back up his forces there. So why Dave is not going for tank right now is certainly a bit of a mystery to me. Because it's going to be really his best chance of just turning things around here for now. So why he isn't going for a tank or anything like that is a good question. I hope he's not playing for a Tiger, because I think that'd be a really bad call there for Dave. So I hope Dave is just forgetting about it, because he's just so caught up in the frontline action. He's forgetting about the Panzer IV, because, yeah, it's not going to be a pretty sight then. And he's still sadly doing nothing with his 250 half-tank. So I have no idea what Dave's doing. He needs to go for a Panzer IV, go for another Panzer Grenadier squad, go for another mortar, go for another Pack 40. I mean, he's just beginning to float a lot here, so it seems like Dave is perhaps a bit unsure what he wants to do here against Karl, which is certainly a shame. But he definitely needs to do something soon. He's going for another MD42 to help deal with all this. Not bad, but he should still go for some armour. He needs panzers. Smoke screen again. Pack 40 not set up. Another infantry on the way. Grenades off. Panzer sneak. Ah! Retreated right through the grenades. Mortar fire there. Does some damage to the advancing. And there go on me again. Before he needs to fall back. Still flooding resources. I think he's going for the also got. Oh! Combined arms further boosting his troops. MG42 no time setting up here. So combined arms and on me both combined there for maximum nastiness. Yeah, Dave is playing for the Tiger Tank. He's playing for the Tiger Tank. That is definitely a case of fear syndrome there, which you not actually anticipate from Dave, but if he's not so used to playing Saddam, even if he plays them more than, say, other factions, except the Americans, it still feels like a bad call here. I mean, again, he just some Panzer IV, so he could really do a lot of damage with these blobs. You could pressure, maybe make it hard for Karl to play for the Pershing. So the attempt to play for Tiger here feels like a weak move by Dave, but he's holding on so far there. He's dealing with the blobs, and the second MG42 allows him to set up a more in-depth defense, which makes it hard for him to just smoke and sort of push ahead. Though, of course, he could also to an extent do the same there with machine gun bunkers in the right positions. So that could be an option there for Dave to consider as well. But there you go. Panzer going to do back in a half to the 250, which was made by D-Mark, which was another company, and not Hanomag, which made the 251 half-track. Fun fact. He's healing up. There we got riflemen in already. Oh dear, straight to the 50 cal over there, taking heavy damage. But there you go, closing in and wiping out. Stopped up a bit too soon. Smokescreen on the MG42. But again, nope. First MG42 covered by another MG42. And imagine this one's going to fall back to cover the second MG42, then leapfrogging, if you will. But he's really close to the Tiger Tank. The problem is Karl is also really close to the Pershing. And there you go, huge blob here. Huge human wave assault. In this case, they can even advance straight to the machine gun and wipe it out there thanks to me. And again, that's what also a bit the issue. The BAR could just allow it to walk straight up and fire. And there you go. Tiger out here though for Dave, but he's going to lose the machine gun here to Karl, which is definitely not good. There you go, full retreat here from Karl. But he's also very close to the Pershing. And lost an MU-42 there. But again, had you had a Panzer IV, you could easily almost doing that 2 Panzer IVs, or just gone up with the Stug the other way. They'd probably been able to put more pressure on Karl before that. I mean, that's sort of the issue with just playing straight for a Tiger in these situations. I mean, sure, you get a bigger weapon, but at the same time, you allow your opponent to hit you more in the meantime. Following up with another MG42 Tiger Marine, very aggressive here for Dave. He's not worried about mines or anything, obviously. Only trapped, but there you go, catches the mortar crew. There you go, almost got the mortar crew wiped. If you can steal that, it'd be huge for Dave. Pershing around there for Karl. Mortar wiped, annihilated. No survivors. Panzer Lehr flanking behind the 50 caliber. Veteran T2. Quick bomb grenade, but then quickly drops as he sees the retreat sign there. Pershing set out, zooming in as well there. He should definitely, I think, consider second Pack 40 to support his Tiger Tank here versus the Pershing. But, I mean, in that regard, Karl doesn't anything besides his bazookas to support his Pershing, so who knows. Machine gun moving up, they're taking fire from the gun. Like machine gun mortar fire opening up as well. Tiger moving in, shoots, misses. Oh, that's priority. Should probably be getting a Stug to support the Tiger Tank here versus Karl's forces. Pershing swinging in here. Yeah, direct hit there. Pack 40 not quite set up, and of course got a lot of rifle. Then we got the huge block moving in there. Troops being suppressed. There you go, on me. Still through the machine gun, there you go, taking hits, mortar fire as well there. The blob advances for freedom and democracy. But ultimately assaulted here by German gunnery and just a lot of bullets. Pershing taking hits from the Pack 40. A Tiger weak point has been fired. Sandy couldn't push through with the Tiger to take advantage of it, so the Pershing does escape here. He can soon go for the Stug. So that was about the 250 half-track, but actually he kind of made good use of it until then, which is certainly still rare to see. Stood moving ahead here, briefly seemed to try and blind the Tiger there, but gave up on the idea. Pack 40 falling back there. Not entirely sure why. Ah, he's healing it up there. He's healing it up. Dave there's got some attention to details I actually missed out on, personally. Flanking up with Panzergrenadier here, Grenadiers in the centre, Tiger hanging back here. 7 kills for Das Vaterland. I think he's trying to wait here until they sort of push towards the centre again, and there you go, another smoke screen, machine guns, once more note, being layered out here. Again, he's basically just going for an in-depth defence every time he knows the blob's coming. He just sort of layers it up there. Grenadiers supporting a Panzer Lehr flank here. Hey, some pretty clever working there by Dave to actually counter the blob, the in-depth defence. That is... well, that's basically, I suppose, how you counter these sort of smoke tactics. You just layer up your defences, which obviously requires some effort and some work, but as you can see there, but now we can see Karl, they're trying to sort of counter it by flanking instead. Of course, that's where the Tiger tank and other armour helps out there, but you'll continue the flanking before you need to shift about. Pershing directly hitting in the Tiger tank, switching up there. Still, oh, they're moving in with the machine gun target fire there. Troops, oh, we got on me from the captain, still going forwards there. Other machine gun turning back to deal with this. Holy moly. Mortar wipe, but he almost got the captain. He almost got the captain. Lieutenant laying down the smoke screen. Still got the other machine gun getting grenaded there. Pershing being held back at bay by the Pack 40. Except he can't quite hit there. Lost the mortar. Got some hits then on Karl. Held the line for the fatherland. Impressive. Need to be careful there with the Tiger though. And also crew that mortar. He's actually getting very aggressive. He also got the Stug on the way there. Troop ceiling reinforcing still. He's going into Karl's base. My God, what are you doing, Dave? What are you doing, Dave? Scheiße. And at the same time, though, Karl's taking advantage of this to try and push for the centre again. Dave falling back here, perhaps realising he might have pushed too far. Grenade there. Straight on the machine gun. Panzer's moving. You need to get the Tiger over there. Oh dear, Dave might have made a critical error. We got S-Mines going down to cover the flank, but it's too late here. He's going to lose another machine gun on this rate. Another grenade off. And wiped. Pack 40 setting up, opening up. Grenadiers moving down. Tiger finally getting a move on there. Panzer Z taking overwhelming fire. Pack 40 Grenadiers with the centre cover up. Tiger flanking in. Lieutenant there being shredded. Stuart gets a good hit there. He got on me from the captain again. Needs to get the other machine gun down there. He needs to rush it in. Stug arriving here. Tiger being blinded there. Pack 40 blinded by smoke. Pioneers recruit the mortar, but they can't do anything with it. Machine gun moving in, troop ceiling reinforcing. Where's the Stug? Ah, scheiße, it's in the base. Pack 40 shifting back support here. Almost got the Pershing. There we go, he gets the Pershing, he gets the Pershing. Even if he took a lot of other losses. Damaged engine, Jackson moving in there for the kill on the Tiger. Ah, scheiße again. Pack 40 being cleared out here by the riflemen. Rifleman forced retreat through the S-mine field, getting wiped, but he gets a Tiger and the lieutenant. The camera retreats. Are there still any S-mines left? Ah, no, there isn't. That was a crazy fight there. Another MD-42 for Dave moving at the Stug here, pretty aggressively, pretty risky. Doesn't care though, moves ahead. There you go, risks damage engine. Can he get the Pershing or the Jackson before it finishes off his Stug? And he gets it, he gets it. Troop trying to attack forward through here. Bomb grenade on the MG-42. Almost wipes it there. Rifleman being cleared out here by the Panzergrenadier. And, suppressed. Can they finish the job for Germany? Doesn't look like it. So close there. So close yet to fire. Cap rushing in to hit the few remaining S-mines. Stuart blitzing in, getting Panzerfausted. Stug turning around just in the nick of time, shooting. Panzer Viersen's moving ahead there with bazooka teams. Gets the Stuart! Gets the Stuart! Holy moly! Grenadiers being hit the MD-425, just bringing it down there. Stug surviving a hit there from the bazookas. Grenadiers with the counter getting suppressed there with the MD-42. Ah, just so close. The Stug goes down. 9. The Stug. Ah, said it's a war crime against Germany and the German peoples. Pioneers with Flammenwerfers trying to crew the mortar there under Dave's nose. Holy hell! That was an intense fight, and it's still not over. Sherman on the way there for Karl. Dave definitely cannot afford to wait about. He needs another Stug or Panzer for himself soon enough. Machine gun there getting blasted by the German fire, and there you go, BAR there picked up by some grenadiers. Oh, Gott im Himmel. Panzer IV on the way, Panzerkampfwagen 4, rifling straight into the MG42, halted in the name of Germany. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure I would have been dead by this point in this match. Moving towards secure the center, MG42 setting up their Panzer IV halfway down there for Dave. Pack 40 needs to be perhaps pulled back there for some healing reinforcement as well. Troops reinforcing healing, going to do sending eastwards. Big push here, another block being prepared. MG42 covering up the second one there. Not quite sufficiently in depth defense, perhaps I think here versus Karl. Mortar fire raining down there as well, not to support. Panzer IV almost ready, need to get the troops up to cover here. Troops pinned down. Panzer IV arriving here for Germany. Grenadiers sneaking up to hit the eastern resources again. But without the captain to just pop on me, I mean, Karl's blobs is only going to be less impactful. Pack 40 opening up the Sherman, Panzer IV moving in. Wipes the rifleman through the smoke. The Panzer IV just managed a good attack round. Oh, snot biscuits. Grenadiers moving for the eastern fuel here. Grenadiers versus reartions here in the west. Sherman moves forwards. MG42 blasting away the Panzer IV, just sort of. Yeah, I think something's happening, Ludwig. And there goes Sherman moving in. Penetrates the Panzer IV's frontal armor. Grenadiers Pack 40 moving in there. Grenadiers hitting the eastern fuel point. Machine gun there getting slowly sniped. MG42 setting up there. Sherman moving in. We got the Pack 40 ready. Pioneers bring up the eastern side. Panzer going to take ground on the western sides. Panzer moving support here in the west. We got a 50 caliber there, by the way. Abandoned looks like Karl just realised that now. I think also Dave just realised that now. Machine gun setting up to deal with the Grenadiers behind light cover. It looks like they also got the BAR. Yeah. Machine gun, they actually suffered misses. The Grenadiers and heavy cover, they've actually free. Panzer IV moving in. Might try and get off another shot there. Almost right the machine gun. Also got BAR still left behind, like just trophies. And apparently Dave's Grenadiers already overburdened with light machine guns. My God, those Yankees. They keep throwing around this Scheiße. I mean, I'm mostly using it for a souvenir for the kids back home. But you know, until then, I guess we can shoot it the Americans visit. Smoking off against the Grenadiers there. Panzer Grenadier Gefechtsbereit. You could actually equip them in theory with the BAR that in some ways hurt the overall firepower, at least up close, but long range I think to mid-range they would actually perform better with the BAR there. So it could be an option there for him just to equip it, plus the veterans would make it also pretty good. Dave there should, I think, consider Stuke to support his Panzer IV, then again he might just go for another Panzer IV. We shall see, but that is one hell of a comeback there, and then turn around there for Dave. My God. I mean, there's still chances for Karl to win, but he's lost a lot now. And he's basically his blobs have lost a lot of steam, thanks to, I would say, Dave's extremely efficient defense in depth tactics. And to tank it up there for Karl, so he seems to have realised he needs to get something else. He can't just rely on bazookas and Shermans and such. And there you go, right from center to the MG42 there. You can actually have the Pioneers pick up the BAR. What I definitely should not do is allow Karl to pick it up again. Karl, though, has been interrupted the issue. He doesn't actually have a lot of infantry left, so he can't push hard. Whereas Dave has been able to, with extreme precision, preserve a lot of his infantry, maintaining overall strong frontline presence, and that way also now pursuing the ability to push the field much more efficiently. Of course, Karl now's got 3 machine guns. 2 of them German. Need to retreat the gun. Is their pack following a bit too far ahead there? Sherman takes a nasty hit there. Veterans run the Panzer Kanone. Second Panzer on the way there for Dave. Will Karl be playing for another Sherman, or what will he do? Will he go for another Jackson? Smokescreen down again. He is very much on the beat there with them. Very much on the beat. Can just push back the rear and try to clear out the minefield there. And there goes 2nd Panzerkampfwagen 4 there. Arriving for the Panzerwaffe, the Panzer Lehr Panzer Division. Smokescreen again. He's just laying them down constantly. He's also got the munitions to get away with it. He's getting 42 munitions per minute. Dave's getting 52. But again, it is down to a quirk of the map, though. It has more resource points than the average map, or just allowing for higher resource income. Almost got the Sherman there with this Panzer IV. He's moving up the west side. Anti-tank rifle, the Panzer IV gets off a good hit. Anti-tank rifle does not go off against the Panzer IV. Dave, though, has mostly equalised the victory points, but he's still a bit behind. Panzer is still not picking up that BAR. No one is. Ooh, anti-tank and anticipating the flank. And we got something else firing as well there by the sound of it. Shoots, misses. Dave could consider another mortar himself. He just lay down fire, maybe some smoke screens himself. That's one thing he actually hasn't done. While he's good at it with the Americans, he doesn't quite seem so keen as the Germans. RP runs against the anti-Panzer IV there, but the other Panzer IV flanks. There you go. We got Rearson flanking up with bazookas. Got no infantry support immediately. Need to pull back the Panzer IV there. Lest he risks unnecessary harm. We got a smoke screen down on the machine gun there. Still not picking up that BAR. That reminds me of a quote the Grenadiers had for whenever they picked up a BAR in Company's One. I can't believe the Americans fight with this crap. I love that quote. Another mortar there for Dave. There we go. Bit of quiet here. Karl seems much more contained now by Dave. We got another smoke screen down there. Karl, I think, is getting too focused in the centre against Dave, to be honest. He needs to launch some bigger swords. He needs to pressure Dave on the sides rather than constantly just focus down there, because it allows, again, Dave just to focus his defences around there, but also to allow him to flank Karl, which Dave certainly seems to be doing there, at least attempting to be doing at times here with his tanks and infantry. That's definitely something there Karl needs to be more careful with versus Dave. Also, Rifle Grenade here could possibly take out the mortar. So far, no sign of it. He could also, in theory, just flank up here. In fact, a Panzer IV flanking up, he could destroy the ambulance, destroy a lot of Karl's troops there. Did not rifle grenade the mortar, though, interestingly enough. But still, if he were to take his 2 Panzer more up there, he could do a ton of damage to Karl. Karl, though, is setting up for a second Pershing here. This is Dave. And Dave is playing out for another Panzer IV, maybe? Machine gun there getting pinned down. Was he playing up for Stug, or perhaps he's anticipating the Pershing, maybe he's not. Hard to say what Dave is exactly thinking here versus Karl. Smoking against the rifle, or machine gun there, pioneers moving in. Troops here healing, reinforcing. Picked up the BAR tonight to the Americans. Machine gun repositioned, mortar firing down there, Panther Force firing into the smoke as well if need be. There we go, Cat with bazookas this time around. There you go, push back, giving on the Vieslons. Troop sealing, reinforcing. Almost got the Pershing mortar, they're taking fire from the Pilfoot mortar, and there you go, Sherman, but they're taking, oh, and I found the Panther Force, shoots, misses the Sherman. Oberleutnant Ludwig feels a bit ashamed. And there you go. Looks like they're preparing for a bigger push up the eastern flank, though we got a machine gun on the way, though in theory has artillery to counter that. Got a big push through here. Dave seems to be hitting the bases again. He doesn't quite seem to realise his opponent's got set up there by the cuff point. Dave then needs to be careful he doesn't get too aggressive with those things. But he's preparing a big push, and there you go. Got artillery called in. On the support position here. Oh! Almost got the 50 cal on the machine gun. Oh, the machine gun and the anti-tank gun, I mean. but not quite. Pershing around there for Karl. Machine guns trying to manage to get past. I think Dave is actually playing for a Tiger himself now. And there you go, machine gun overwhelmed. A bit of a brutish assault there by Dave. Panzer force hanging back, not receiving repairs. Dave has rather split up his forces aggressively. And there you go. Karl uses this opportunity to counterattack into this and start with most of Dave's infantry's position. He's got a pack 40 there. Sort of help deal with it somewhat. He's going to need this Panzer force, which is damaged, to assist with this. Good hit there. Panzer force being repaired. This was prioritising that. Panzerfaust on the Pershing. Almost got the German there. We've got smoke screen down there to prevent the pack 40 from firing. Gute Arbeit there by Karl. But David almost got the second fuel point as well. And he's close to the Tiger tank. He should be able to get then a second Tiger tank. And then with 2 Panzer force, crush Karl. Like the insect he is, yeah. 94 moving to the 50 coming in front of the MD4, the MD4-2 there. It's going to just he could have passed it behind a little bit longer. I guess here Dave just did not want to risk it, and that's an understandable concern. Second Panther form is good to go to join in alongside the first one, which is half 8 of Veterans 2. And this time it's Dave who's smoking in the centre, though he's got nothing to push in with. But oh wait. He can't go for the Tiger. He can't go for the Tiger. He's got a few command points too many. But he's on this going after the hitting the base, getting the bunker there. Captain spotted. Gonna go for the wipe here with the Panther force. And there you go, annihilated, hit and raid. Pershing moving in there. Gauge the Panther 4 misses. Panther force penetrating, gun this movement. Might be able to get off a Panther force there. Getting the Pershing start. No, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Panther 4 they're down to half health. Almost Veteran T2. Then he's taking hits and still a bit further off there from getting the Tiger tank. Need to get that Panther 4 fixed up. Schnell. I think this is going to be either the most anticlimactic ending ever or a really hell of an ending here to this match. Soon as sort of brewing up here. We shall see what it ends up with. Pack 40 moving up, fixing up the Panther 4 there. Machine gun exchange to the front of the machine guns. Panther 4 moving eastwards, gun these as well there. We've got a smoke down here in the middle of support position. Pershing taking hits from the Pack 40 to get target beat 27. That's going to get disrupted here. Machine gun push back. Panther 4 versus the Sherman. Second Panther 4 good to go. Now he can call in the Tiger. Dave calls in the Tiger. Then these machine gunners try and Panther fast. The Pershing taking a hit on the Panther 4, Pack 40. Other Panther 4 Tiger can move through here through the front, maybe with the smoke on the anti-tank gun there. We should see what it ends up with here for Dave. Mortifying the Pack 40. There's another smoke screen down. Panther 4 moves in. Tiger moving ahead. Panther 4's going to need some repairs. Troops moving in there to defend the centre. Panther 4 gains 32. Grenade off against the troops in the smoke. Tiger moving up here, revealing its large squarish face here to Karl. Pershing running forwards. And the Panther 4 setting up for a flank here. Could hit the ambulance, could hit a lot of units there by the cut-off point. Pershing will hit it through the front. Pack 40 Tiger could engage. Mortify on the other mortars, taking it out. And there you go. Pershing change to the park. Tiger the pack. Panther 4 not moving. Sherman moving up to flank here. Other Panther 4 moving about. There you go. Panther 4 moves in, hitting the cut-off point. He's blitzing, he's going for it. Oh, it's a pincer maneuver here by Dave using the armour. Pershing goes down. And with this, Karl surrenders. His will as shattered as his Pershing heavy tanks. And there you go, GG. Game over. A brutal spectacle here on Crossroads. An amazing fight between Dave and Karl. I haven't seen quite some time. Dave, they're struggling under the American block, but he counters it with a excellent defensive depth. They're using machine guns layout on top of each other, preventing them just blobbing through. They're absolutely outstanding work. S-Mines armoured flanks there. Just so much going on in this fight. We saw 250 half track, which actually did kind of well there for Dave. That was really an outstanding fight here on Crossroads. Definitely one of the best ones of cast at November. Definitely one amongst them. So there you go, an absolutely amazing fight right here, ladies and gentlemen. You won't be catching this anywhere else. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone, and if not, send a new player and find some feedback in the comment section. And of course, a big thanks to my Patreon supporters, without which this episode would not be possible. So thank you all, and see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Cheers.